Money is one of your coaching pillars. What financial lessons did divorce teach you? And how do you help other women rebuild financial confidence?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mhm.
So I would say there are some things that I felt like we did very well.
Okay.
And one of those things is I really had to take into consideration how my military life would impact him.
Mm,
So meaning that we moved every 3 years. So that means you're probably not going to be able to have the consistent job because you're not going to be able to have the longevity because I'm moving around every 3 years. So I had to make sure that I was going to be able to have the grace for that. But then that was also a discussion that we had is, are you going to be able to withstand that? Because honestly, the tables are turned. So military speaking, if you're not already in the military, typically everything is catered towards the woman because typically this is what this looks like. There's not much catered for a military spouse who is a man. So we were having like the family readiness groups and they're doing purse making events, right? He what is he going to do with that? Nothing whatsoever. So in that, I had grace with that. So what I did just to make sure that both of us would still have a sense of independence and also where he didn't feel like I was kind of like hanging something over his head is what we decided is that whatever money that we bring in, we brought in together into one account. And then from there for our spending money, we had our own separate accounts for that. So then it wasn't your money, my money. So on that aspect, I feel like we did things very well as far as that goes. Now, what I feel like we could have done better was identifying, well, what does that look like as you're in transition? So for my husband at the time, he said, well, I've been very interested in going into my own business and doing this. And so I said, "All right, babe, I'll support you and then we'll do that." But then we didn't have a very clear plan of, okay, well, what does this look like? How are we going to bring in income? Is there something that we're going to do in the meantime as far as what that looks like? Because I think something that I really didn't consider was the toll it would take if my husband at the time wasn't taking the full role of provider and what that would look like for him. And I don't think any of us really kind of understood what the brevity of that would be.
that's heavy. So, how important is it? Just because I'm as I listen to you, how important is it for a man, even in 2025, to at least contribute, let alone kind of maybe being the head of the home financially? Because I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
too many guys who can really carry that whole load financially by themselves in 2025.
Yeah. Now, listen, I can't speak for no man now.
Yeah, but just as a yeah, right.
Don't,
As a
look, don't be trying to get me in trouble.
setting you up for the okie doke.
Right. Don't be trying to get me in trouble. However, I still feel that no matter how modern we as a society, we as people get,
Yeah.
I still feel that men have a higher sense of pride and purpose when they are able to take care of their family, especially from that financial perspective. So, I do think that it's very important that the man contributes, but as far as whether he needs to be higher earning or not, honestly, I would say that really depends on him and what he's able to handle from an ego, if that's the best way to say it, but from an ego standpoint. Like, do you feel a way if I make more money than you, or do you not feel a way if I make more money than you? Or is there a very particular way that you want me to that we discuss finances and what that looks like. And that was why I was very careful when we did discuss finances to make sure that all money went into one pot. And I always said, what would you like us to do? What are we going to do? I always made sure that I use that type of vocabulary and not a, well, I'm and I. And then, so I was very conscious not to do any of that.